Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the South. More specifically, we are in Raleigh, North Carolina. We are currently on the Bowie to Bowie road trip. Also, we are currently taking Route 1 from Fort Kent, Maine, down to Key West. Yes, we are on a crash course, a collision course with Key West, barreling south at this point. It took quite a while to get through New England, through the big cities of the Northeast, but now we're in the reaching kind of the wider open roads of the southern United States. And we begin our day here in Raleigh, North Carolina, here at the Angus Barn restaurant. Looks like it's not open right now. I don't know if it is Mother's Day as I'm recording this. Just got off the phone with my mom, who's visiting my sister in Colorado. And then I actually just had lunch with some of my oldest, dearest friends. But I wanted to come over here because here at the Angus Barn, they have a classic roadside attraction here in the parking lot. Yes, folks, here is the Angus Barn kicking booth. Right here, the Angus Barn kicking machine. It says this machine is a reproduction of the original Tom Haywood self-kicking machine, which was located at Croatan, North Carolina. The original machine delighted thousands of people for more than 50 years until it was recently dismantled and retired. So I have come out here before to the self-kicking machine. Unfortunately, this machine here had fallen in disrepair. It was not working for years and years. But my understanding is that it has been refurbished. Now, you see it says, have you ever said, I want to kick myself? I want to kick myself. Here's your chance. So the rules are, use the machine at your own risk. So I won't be suing anyone. Children under 12 must be supervised by an adult. One person at a time. And do not stand facing the boots. The Angus Barn will not be responsible for anyone who does not like the way they were kicked. So let's see if the old kicking machine is operating. You got to turn this bar here. And there we go. There we go. The boots are twirling. Looks like the machine is fully operational. Starting to rain a little bit, but we are under the safe cover of the kicking machine gazebo. And I guess we'll just get right to it. So I did. I turned the crank there. That turns the boots behind me. And then you gotta kind of lean into it. So there we go. Okay. Oh. That one got a little uncomfortable. Let me see. See if we can get a good kick session going. There you go. You gotta kind of position yourself right. You don't want a toe getting you the wrong way. Ow, 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 ow. Also, I learned this in the past, coming out here to the kicking machine. You never want to turn the wheel this way, get the boots going this way, because you actually get axe kicked in the kidneys if you're not careful. Like this. Oh! That literally hurt so much. I can't believe I just said, don't do this because this will happen, and then I just did it. Yeah, always turn it this way. Gosh, stupid machine. Yeah, you don't want to get, because you know the way the heels come down on your back, and that really hurts. I can't believe I hit myself that hard. And of course, it does say do not stand facing the boots, because then it's more of a butt kicking machine becomes more of a genital kicking machine. So yeah, you don't want to do that. I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to lean into it like that. But let's finish off our session with a few standard. I'm doing it the wrong way again. Got to do it this way. There we go. Okay. All right. I think that's enough. I think we've had our fun for the day. let's get back on that long, lonesome road. That'll do, kicking machine. That will do. Always willing to stop for Muffler Men. Here at Bradshaw Landscape Supply, they have one on their sign, a mascot. And there he is. Back there, I don't want to cross this because they're not open. But you can see him out standing there next to the piles of sand and dirt and concrete blocks. I do appreciate a good car lot gorilla there. You can see him in his sunglasses hoisting that car aloft. And we've come down here to downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, and I figured we would check out a museum down here. As I travel the country, I love checking out the different natural history museums. I just kind of love that type of museum. That's kind of museum I really grew up going to. The dinosaurs, the taxidermy, all that fun stuff. So I figured we'll see what they have to offer here at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. But look what they have outside the museum here. This is the world's second largest globe. Pretty big. See those cars down there? Pretty big globe. And it's detailed too. You can see the actual individual rivers and mountains on the outside there. Now the largest globe is in New York City at the site of the New York World's Fair. It was the icon from the World's Fair and it's still there. So this would be the second largest behind that. Now we did visit the world's largest rotating globe earlier on this trip, but when we saw it, it wasn't rotating. So I think at any moment that it's not rotating, it loses that title. And it actually, this globe here, the Raleigh, North Carolina globe, is bigger than that globe. So it's an interesting angle which they placed the globe here. We got just a whole bunch of ocean, whole bunch of Atlantic right there. We get a good look, probably the best look here at South America, at least from this angle. You got Africa up there. But the country we are currently in, the United States of America, you can't see it all that well. I can see the very bottom of Florida right there. I guess it probably looks good from the angles from some of these offices up here, from some of the different parts. Maybe you can, I don't know, maybe we can see it from inside the museum, I'm not sure. But I think, yeah, if you're in this building right here, you can look down on it and see America. And I apologize for that terrible noise. This crossing station is just making this incessant beeping. Okay, I think we head over here for the entrance. And there's a giant name tag on the ground here, but it looks like the name has been crossed out. I'm having a hard time finding the entrance to the museum. Oh, some kids there. Guess it looks like they're hunting for turtles here in the pond. Okay, is this the entrance over here? Looks like that's, okay, look at that's their IMAX theater. And this is the North Carolina Museum of History. My understanding is that this is going to be closed down for the next couple of years, that it's undergoing a complete renovation. So we'll have to come back another time and do that museum. You can see up here, get ready for an exciting transformation. As our exhibits are closed for renovation, we're creating a dynamic new experience. Doesn't give a date on when it'll reopen, but it'll be exciting to see what it becomes when it opens up. If we peer into the lobby there, okay, I think we can see, I can just make out one of the Wright brothers there. I've still not figured out how to get inside the Museum of Natural Sciences. Where's the main entrance? Let's go see if we enter down there by the IMAX theater. Maybe that was the entrance. Okay, I think this was the entrance after all. I just got confused. Sometimes museums have different entrances by the IMAX. And we have made it inside, and it turns out there's no admission. This is a free museum. So here we got some swans flying over the lobby. And look at this first exhibit right here in the front. Natural treasures of North Carolina, which we have a lot. See the bird doing his dive bomb there. Hopefully he's gonna snag himself a fish. There's a fox squirrel now in my part of North Carolina. I haven't really seen any of these. We have the normal standard issue gray squirrels. This is a red bat. It says it is one of North Carolina's most common bats. It's a good solid chunk of granite from Mount Airy, North Carolina. But don't go out in the water here in North Carolina, or you'll find yourself getting devoured by a great white shark. North Carolina mountain lions. Sometimes there's spottings of these where I live. And over here, some of the sea life. We've got whales. We've got the giant marlin skeleton. And here we have a North Carolina pressed penny machine. We've got the North Carolina Museum of Natural Science with a whale skeleton on it. So let's get that one, and let's get the cardinal. The cardinal is the official bird of North Carolina. All right, quarter, penny. So I got the 2 pressed pennies, got the cardinal pressed penny, but I having a hard time finding the cardinal over here. None of these birds are cardinals. There's a bluebird, that's like the opposite of a cardinal. This bird is red, but he's not a cardinal. And we're headed into coastal North Carolina, the beautiful North Carolina coast. One thing I like to do when I go to the North Carolina coast is eat a lot of oysters. You can see the oyster bed here. Oh, here we can see the birds diving for fish. Here in North Carolina, birds love diving for fish. See the pelican diving down there and devouring the fish, filling his big mouth sack up with these little fish. See up here we have this giant whale skeleton. That must be the one from the penny. Actually, there's almost an overabundance of whale skeletons. Look, I don't know if I've ever seen so many whale skeletons in the same place. Here is the seashore. The seagulls picking through the debris. See some shallow fish there. And oh yeah, look, there's some dead fish laying in the debris. Oh, watch out, these are jellyfish that have washed out. Oh yeah, all sorts of like little treasures and bits. This is when you go hunting for seashells. This is where you go to hunt. Some items you can find washed up on the beach. There's wood covered in shipworms. Shipworms have dug through the wood. There is a mermaid's purse. I've actually found 2 of these. It's one of my biggest accomplishments hunting for shells. Also, you can find a beer bottle covered in barnacles. And there's some living, breathing fish in this aquarium. See, there's some little shrimp in this tank. One of them is called a peppermint shrimp, which sounds like the worst seafood dish ever. Peek under the sea here. Watch out. Is that a barracuda? It's the continental slopes and interesting things going on. You got a squid there traveling like an umbrella and a dead shark being devoured by this eel-like hagfish. Getting nervous, all these whales up here. Worried a whale's gonna fall on me. A dolphin swimming up there by the top. And then this sea turtle's munching on a man-o-war. I have been stung by a man-o-war before, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't fun. It hurt my foot. But this turtle, he don't care. He'll just gobble them down. Okay, we have Nature Explorers Beyond the Exhibits. I do love exhibits like this where they kind of peel the scenes back and show you how the museum works. I'm just a big fan of museums in general, the actual, nuts and bolts of a museum. Now, these are some of the older exhibits that were on display at one time in the early 1900s. This is just a exhibit on wood. Different wood panels there telling you what type of wood it is. American chestnut, white oak, southern red oak, black walnut, sweet gum, lullaby pine, sourwood, American holly, swamp chestnut oak, American beech, Carolina water ash, and shagbark hickory. Here in North Carolina, minerals fashioned into bowling ball-like spheres. Granite, black norite, Murphy marble. That's actually not far from where I live. It's in Cherokee County in Murphy, North Carolina. Murphy marble. So this is a recreation of H.H. Brimley's workroom. I guess he was the museum's full-time curator in 1910, and this would have been what he was working on back then. Looks like he's currently working on some taxidermy displays, creating this fresh new fox here. You can see the form of the fox. He's got the eyeballs are already in it. He has to mount that fox fur onto the mount. Oh, look at that! I think that's half done there, where it's padded, but it still needs the fur to be applied. Yeah, I love the old-timey office. He's got parts of taxidermy animals everywhere in his office. He's got a bald eagle on his shelf there. Museum storage shelves here, stuff that's not necessarily on exhibit. Well, technically it's on exhibit, but it's showing, the purpose of being on exhibit is to show what the back of the museum looks like. And I work for a museum. I can tell you all the really good stuff is in the back. I mean, there's a good stuff in the front too, but there's just like such weird things in the back that either don't fit in to a current exhibit or are in some cases just too out there to feature. I could tell you some stories. Yeah, behind the walls of any museum there's just tons and tons of animals in jars. We got a family of friendly possums here. Yeah, look at all these adorable baby possums. Here's an alligator, not only mounted by Brimley, the curator, but also apparently he would hunt the alligators down himself. This is Miss Kagawa. This is a doll, a Goodwill doll given to different places in the United States. It says 58 of these dolls were given out by Japan, and it said the museum actually made the decision to continue to show this during World War II. And here's the sign that would have been up at the time. The title, "Whom the Gods Would Destroy, They First Make Mad." The Japanese made an insane attack upon American territory of Hawaii on December 7th, 1941. With grim determination, we are now committed to stop for all times Japanese aggression This has no bloodthirsty implications to destroy peoples as such. We believe in peace and goodwill to live and let live. Men, women, and children of Japan have this goodwill, but they have now been dominated by ruthless leaders. Proof of such latent goodwill are the friendship doll exhibits exchanged between children of the United States and Japan during 1926 and 1927, as shown here in the museums in both countries. So we've moved away from the coast. I guess now we are exploring the eastern portion of the state and the different forests that it has. So here is the bottomland forest. We have a real snapping turtle down here, but lurking up there is a taxidermied weasel. Some of the gar right here. It's the North Carolina savannah. That's where they got the fox squirrels. Also some black bears lurking back there. Some rare birds here. We have a bald eagle with giant bulging eyes. And an even rarer bird, the passenger pigeon, so rare that they are actually extinct. And I did want to make a correction. I referred to a carrier pigeon as a passenger pigeon the other day at the Army Museum. Not the same thing. Passenger pigeons are extinct, carrier pigeons are not. This is the Piedmont forest, more towards the middle of the state. We have a beaver dam here, a deer grazing through the forest. And here in North Carolina, chaos reigns. Come over to the other side of the beaver dam. You can see the beaver hard at work, damming up the stream. Damn. And I have made it home, at least in a museum sense. This is the Western Carolina Mountains. You see one of our beautiful Western Carolina waterfalls up there, running down into a beautiful stream full of fishes. From up on the second floor, we can get a better look at these whale skeletons. Now that's not a whale. That is a manatee with a little baby manatee skeleton behind it. But this is a whale. This is the blue whale. This is the largest animal on the planet. Just look how big its head is. Now that's a humpback whale down there. That's the kind I saw do the double breach when we did the whale tour in Boston. One of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. But this here, this whale's name is Trouble. It is a sperm whale, as in the same kind of whale that Moby Dick was, that Captain Ahab chased down. And you could definitely see with that mouth there how a whale could destroy a ship, could eat a man. I'm not saying that sperm whales actually do that, but at least in fiction they do. They're crossing the bridge of Discovery here. You can look out onto Raleigh. Looks like there's a whole bunch of construction there across the street. Okay, there you can see the big globe there out the window. I'm gonna look up there and see the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, what is this? Big circular theater here. I'm looking down here. This is one of my favorite parts of animal rehabilitation. You can see this person here covered in a cloak, but they're actually hand feeding these baby birds there. But as you see, they don't want the birds to get used to humans, so they have a bird puppet on their hand to feed the baby, so they think that they are being raised by a bird. But secretly, they're just being raised by a hand. Imagine if you found out your mother was just someone's hand. Oh, there's an elk there. These are not taxidermy. These are like recreations. You can see the wolves there devouring one of the elk. And over here we have a super spooky skeleton. Actually, you can see, if you look closely, the skeleton is eating an ice cream cone. It says here that it was a genetic mutation, a single gene mutated that allow humans to eat milk. Normally, we were supposed to develop an intolerance because milk's only meant for babies, for growing babies. But at some point, there was a single mutation in a gene in humans that allowed them to eat milk their entire lives. So if you're lactose intolerant, you're actually the way humans were built. If you eat milk, you are a mutant. Walking down these stairs here, they're actually the stairway to the future. And down the stairs here we have more whales. Talks about the scientific study of right whales. Doing some research gathering on the right whales. Oh, look at that. We got a Rottweiler doing some of his own whale investigation there. Some other animals being researched here. See the turtle has a tracking device planted on its back. And again, what is this dog doing? I like to imagine that this dog is the captain of this boat and he's doing an investigation on whales, but because he's a dog and isn't that smart, he thinks he can catch a whale with that net there. And I guess this is their newest exhibit here, Dueling Dinosaurs. So this exhibit is about a Tyrannosaurus and a Triceratops that were found, and they are uncovering the fossils to learn more about the dinosaurs. So there are different theories on what happened to the dinosaurs. Either they were dueling, either the Triceratops was already dead and then the T-Rex started eating them, or they were friends. Actually it says they were not interacting and that a flash flood killed them both.
This is a scaled-down replica of the dueling dinosaurs as they were found in the ground.
You can actually see the investigation unfolding here. Here's the actual fossils. There's the Tyrannosaur tail. Oh, wow. Triceratops hips over there. So yeah, they're very carefully cleaning and preserving these dinosaur bones. That's pretty amazing. I didn't realize that this. I thought this might have even been like a theoretical situation or something that happened in the past, but this is an ongoing investigation. Time to head back up the stairs of the future. Here are some microscopic organisms. These are probably floating in your eyeball right now. Talks more about genetics here. We can see it says a single gene changes the shape of a dog. To go from the Great Dane here to the Chihuahua. Always crazy to think about how these two are the exact same species. This is the John B. McMillan Science Atrium. So I guess if it's covered, it's called a rotunda. If it's glass, it's called an atrium. The pterodactyls twirling above our heads. And then this giant sauropod dinosaur here. Oh, what happened? What happened to his leg? I think something might have taken a bite out of his leg. Oh, I bet it was this guy right here. So this guy is Acrocanthosaurus, known as the terror of the South because of where he lived. It's a good old Southern boy. So now we are headed into ancient North Carolina, back when dinosaurs ruled the South. I always find it interesting when they have like a real naturalistic environment, but the dinosaur itself is still made of bones. This duckbill skeleton defending its nest against this carnivorous skeleton here. But for some reason, the babies are not skeletons. The babies are not skeletons. We head into the ancient North Carolina seas. A dangerous place, as you can see right here. Also down here in the sea, we have a sea owl. And then my best friend here, the giant ground sloth. Look at that. These sloths today are so different. They're so much smaller. They curl up in trees instead of, I think back then, they curled the trees up. You can just see, look at how thick those bones are on the sloth. And here we see some North Carolina farm children digging up some dinosaur bones out of the creek as they are gathering water. Now, we just went there to get a little bit of water. Ended up with some dinosaur bones. Now down there you can see the different North Carolina forests that we visited. Of course, here is the mountains where I live. I did think this part of the exhibit was a little small, but it turns out it actually continues up here on the floor above it. You know what? This honestly makes me a little homesick. Navigating the building here a little bit crazy. There's 2 buildings with 4 floors each. Here's the Arthropod Zoo. We have a giant praying mantis greeting us. And ironically, the Arthropod Zoo brought to you by Terminix, a company dedicated to killing all the arthropods. And some giant ladybugs here mixed amongst the grass. And they have some real insects in here, including this tarantula here. This tarantula is probably the biggest spider I've ever seen. I've seen tarantulas before. I've never seen one this size. Look at these beetles here. It's like they start out as the worm there, turn into a pupa, a soft adult, and a hardened adult. These ones look extra hard. Here's the main lobster here. Look at him. He's actually a blue lobster. Blue lobsters are very rare. Sometimes I know that blue lobsters actually get rescued from seafood restaurants because they are too rare to eat. Hey, buddy. He's a big one, too. Some giant bees here on this giant comb. Here's some enlarged insects, the cockroaches there. Look at that big moth. And some enlarged heads. We can look up to them really close. There, that's a bee. This is a fly. Oh, it's got that dirty proboscis he wants to put on you. He wants to kiss some dog poop and then kiss your sandwich. This is that's a cockroach head. Surprisingly, the least terrifying out of all these is the cockroach head. And there is the mosquito. Look at him. Look at all those tubes you use to suck your blood. These photo ops here where you can give yourself a bug face. In this lovely display here, we can see some insects tearing apart a dead rotting mouse. But here we got a look from the top of the atrium here. Pterodon swirling. We got some spring showers as we exit the museum. It does feel like the rain has been following us the last few days. But yeah, I love the museum here. Bigger than I expected. Covers a lot of ground and really does cover, a lot of the natural history of North Carolina, dedicating time to all the different parts of the state. So yeah, wonderful museum, completely free. Definitely would check it out if I was in the Raleigh area. But it is now time to get back on that long, lonesome road. Stopped off here in Southern Pines, North Carolina. I figured we'd get some dinner here at Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. Now, this is a chain here in this part of the country, but yeah, both fried chicken and barbecue. I really do enjoy their barbecue. And just look at this, fried chicken and barbecue, two of the greatest foods to ever come out of the American South. Got the pulled pork barbecue there, got the fried dark meat. And in this part of the country, you always get hush puppies with barbecue. As my sides, I got some baked beans and Brunswick stew. So this is quite the meal. Look at that. I did that fried chicken first. Super good. Very reminiscent, I'd say, of KFC. I think it's very, very similar to KFC. They got two different types of barbecue sauce here. They got this is like mostly vinegar based. Let's try some of that. That's really good. Mostly pure vinegar, with a little bit of spice and whatnot added to it. They also have a thicker red sauce here. That's a little different. It almost tastes a little bit like sweet and sour sauce. It's interesting. Hush puppies. Not the biggest fan of hush puppies, but they're pretty good. And I absolutely love Brunswick stew. It's like a bunch of meats and vegetables all mixed up in a pot. Some beans. Yeah, this is amazing. This is exactly what I wanted for dinner. Yeah, I ended up using both types of barbecue sauce. So this is, what they call Eastern Carolina sauce. It's vinegar based. Western Carolina, where I'm from, it's tomato based. And in South Carolina, it's mustard based. Ate all my chicken and barbecue and sides, except for the hush puppies. I don't really like hush puppies that much. Just a lot of fried bread. A wonderful Eastern Carolina dinner. All right, I've actually gotten in to my hotel room a little bit early. Tonight it is 6:30, which for this trip is super early. I've been getting in, no earlier than 10 probably most times, sometimes 11:30. Just been, drive, film, edit, sleep, and then wash, repeat, rinse, over and over and over. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Now today was Mother's Day. Fortunately, I didn't get to spend it with my mom. I did call her this morning. She spent some time with my sister in Colorado, visiting my sister, her husband, my niece and nephew there. But I know my mom watches most of these videos. But hopefully she's watching right now, because I just wanted to say, my mom has been so supportive over, not my whole life, but especially, over the last couple years. It's been a crazy couple of years with the divorce, with this channel, this strange life that I lead. She's been super supportive. She's been super proud, and that means a lot to me of what I've accomplished. I know when, a couple times we've been together and someone's noticed me in public, and that really made her proud. I could tell that this unconventional path I've taken, she's been supportive of it. Her, following the channel, I stop at her house a lot. Actually, since the divorce, I've been traveling a little more than usual, and Jen. Honestly, I've not been home a lot. This year, Jen has more been coming out to see me than me going home. I haven't been home since, I think, March 13th. But nonetheless, when I'm out traveling, my mom's is always been, or always is, kind of a home away from home. I can crash in her extra bedroom. Every time, I use it a lot as a kicking off point. Driving to the Chicagoland area, and it's been a huge, been staying there a lot. With the train station in Chicago. So I've been staying at my mom's, leaving my car at my mom's, and she'll either pick me up, drive or drop me off or pick me up in Chicago at Union Station, or pick me up at the dunes where the South Shore line comes into Indiana from Chicago. So she's been so supportive, and she has had some rough times herself. All this time, I've been going through my divorce. I've been traveling like crazy, and her and my stepdad have just had the roughest go of things in the last couple of years. My stepdad got cancer, then my mom got cancer. My mom's doing a lot better. My stepdad, obviously it's a long journey, but still fighting, hanging in there. It's just been a very trying time for the family, and for that reason too, I have tried to see my family more. When I was young, when I was in my 20s, when I was starting my family, with my kids. There was times I didn't come and visit as much. I was really wrapped up in my own work, my own job, my raising the kids, my relationship with my wife, and but now, now that I'm oddly enough, now that I'm even more deep into my work here on YouTube, it's actually one of the highlights is it's given me more of an option to visit more, to get to know my mom more. Your relationship with your parents changes and grows over time, and it's feel like in the last couple of years has really been, a real reconnection with my family. Just things I was going through, I would still visit, but I wasn't visiting as much as I wanted to, and wasn't visiting as much as I could. And the struggles and tragedies that have been happening to my family have reminded me how important it is to see the people you love, and to hold them close. And it's been a, like I said, crazy couple of years. My mom's been great. My mom's been supportive through everything that I've been through, and I hope that she feels the same way that I've been supportive for everything that she's gone through over the last couple years. But my parents were very young when I was born. I think they were 20. I think they were 20 when I was born. So I'm the youngest. It's complicated. I'm the youngest person. I'm the oldest. Not young. I was the firstborn. I'm the oldest. So I'm the oldest person in two families. The only child my parents created together, and then they both went off to have more children of their own. So I'm the oldest person in my mom's family, oldest person in my dad's immediate family. So so at one point, my parents did get divorced when I was very young. So for a while, the starts of my mom's family, it was just me and her. She met her second husband. My brother and sister came along. She met her third husband, and then his daughters became part of our family. And it's kind of a Brady Bunch like situation, but I've had the opportunity to really have a better relationship, not only with just my mom, but with my brother and sister, my stepsisters. That's one silver lining that's come out of some of the tragedy in the family, is that I've forged closer relationships with the people that I love. Not always easy for me to maintain relationships. Don't want to go into a whole thing, but it's part of my autism, is that personal connections can be difficult to maintain for me, not because I don't want them, just because it is difficult for me. And I feel like my relationship with my family has gotten stronger, and I'm very proud of that, very happy to be closer to certain people. My mom's been wonderful, and to Jen, inviting Jen, me and Jen's relationship, and what we are building together. My mom's been super supportive of that. And Mom, if you're listening, I just want to know that I love you. I appreciate everything you've done, and I hope that I've been supportive with all these troubles that have been coming up in the last couple of years. So thank you, Mom. Thank you, everyone else. And for now, this one's in the bag.